Today we have a tutorial video of Bunny Bunny Moose Moose by Czech Games Edition. Hi, I'm Kevin Baker and you're watching Shangri-La, my YouTube channel for tabletop board games, birding, and other educational videos. Please like and subscribe. Okay, this copy of Bunny Bunny Moose Moose was donated by our friend Elizabeth, who attended FlamingoCon number 29 and didn't want to hold on to the game any longer, so she figured she'd give it to us and we'd make sure other people got to enjoy Bunny Bunny Moose Moose. I have played this game and it is hysterical. I mean, it's also a way to learn how to count cards, because that may get you kicked out of a casino in Vegas, but at a board game convention, no, it's perfectly acceptable to count cards. Okay, so let's take a look and figure out how we're going to play. So starting with the trail, you have your moose. This is a moose, and this is a bunny, and you have 15 trail cards. And so the object of the game is to get your moose and bunny as far down the trail as possible. If a moose or bunny makes it to the end of the trail, then you take cards from the back of the trail and move them up to the front. And then it just keeps going until everybody has had 2 chances to be the narrator. So basically it cycles through everybody twice. And then the person that has their second figure, so right now say the moose is the second figure for red. That's how you determine who the winner is. So everybody's second figure, which one is the furthest ahead, will be the winner. Okay. Now, how you actually play, you have up to six players, and you have one of them is the narrator. The narrator is going to take their narrator cards, say the narrator is currently brown, and they're going to bet on one of the other 5 players. And then whatever that player scores as their points, the narrator will also get those points. There are additional cards that have a dash in the corners. Those are the advanced cards, and when you're just learning, you can take out all of those advanced rules. I'll explain those at the end. So we're just going to use the cards like these that do not have any dashes in the corners. Now, each of the players is going to be listening to the narrator very carefully, because the narrator is going to read the poem slowly. On the first word, they're going to lift up a card and say, listen. Then they're going to say, do you? And then for the bold part of the poem, they're going to place the card down, hear someone. And then they're going to keep going. 'Tis the hunter with his gun. You don't want to go too fast or too slow. But then do not panic. Do not cry, lest you catch the hunter's eye. It's important to place them facing the other players. If you calm and clever stay. Now you see a hunter came out on the first round of 6 cards. We're going to do 1 card for each line of the poem. In the first time through, it doesn't matter if a hunter comes out. And you may swiftly sneak away. So now there's 6 cards out there. You keep going, and if another hunter comes out, I'll show you what happens. You say, listen, do you, bam! So another hunter came out. It does not cover up one of the other cards. Now, while I was putting those cards out, the players were making either antlers or bunny ears on either the sides or the top of their head. And based on whether they have antlers or bunny ears will depend how the scoring works. If they're a bunny, they're going to try to move their bunny. If they are a moose, they're trying to move their moose. You must have 2 bunny ears to be a bunny. You must have 2 moose antlers to be a moose. If you have only 1 ear or 1 antler, then you're a bush. And if that happens, you're going to move both of your meeples backward 1. So you don't want to be a bush. Had I not pulled a hunter immediately, I would have kept reading the poem and then say, "Listen, do you hear someone?" And I would cover up the first one. "'Tis the hunter with his gun." Cover up the second one. "Do not panic, do not cry, lest you catch the hunter's eye. If you calm and clever stay, you may swiftly," bam! So you keep covering up the other cards in these 6 piles until you receive the hunter, then you say bam. And at that point, when you say bam, everybody has to freeze with whatever antlers or ears they have on their head. And then you will score each of them. If the person that you bet on scores 2 points, you get the same 2 points as the narrator. After everybody has scored, the person that was playing here will come and be the narrator. Then the narrator will move over to here. You shuffle the chairs, and then red is going to be the narrator, cleaning up all of these cards into a discard pile, and then starting again. If you're going to try to be a moose, the moose antlers come in pairs. It can be a wide open antler. So you put your thumb to your temple and you spread your fingers wide. And that antler can be either up or it can be pointed down. You can also have a compact antler that is pointed up or pointed down. If you're going to be a bunny rabbit, you put 2 fingers together and then squeeze the other 3 fingers together. You can put your hand behind your head to represent ears that are on the top of the head. Or you can put your ears on the side of your head. And you can either have your fingers straight up for a straight ear, or you can have your fingers bent over for a floppy ear. There are also ambiguous ears. This bunny has 1 ear on the top of its head that can be either straight or floppy. This bunny has 1 ear on the side of its head, not the top, on the side that can be either straight or floppy. This bunny has 2 ears that are on the sides of the head that are either straight or floppy. So this moose has 2 downward facing ambiguous ears. So you've got to put your antlers facing down, either wide or compact. Here, you got to have 1 antler facing down that is either wide or compact. Here, you've got two antlers that are up, that can be wide or compact. And here, you have one antler that is up, that is either wide or compact. And not all cards are good. Those all cards give you positive point values. But you can also have cards that have negative point values. So if you match a downward facing antler on that side of the moose, and it mirrors. So if you have this side, and so if you have that, you're on your right-hand side of your head, and this is the right-hand side of the card from the perspective of the players. If you both have a downward facing antler, whether it is wide or compact, you would get -2 points. If you're a bunny and you have ears on the top of your head, whether they are straight or floppy, you would get -1 point for each ear on the top of your head. If you have both ears on the top of your head, you'd have -2 points. Here you get -2 points for having just the one ear on that side on the top of your head. Here you get -2 points for an upward facing antler, whether wide or compact. And here you have -1 point for each antler facing up, whether it is wide or compact. And just to make things even trickier, this is the plus-minus card. This reverses the pluses and minuses. So pluses become minuses, minuses become pluses. So that definitely complicates matters. There are even cards that do not have any ears. So if you are a moose, so if you have two antlers, on this card, you're going to get -3 points. If you are putting up two ears, that means you're a bunny, so you're going to get -3 points. Unless the narrator throws in a plus-minus, then you'd get positive points for those. There are also other cards that give you 2 points if you are a bunny, and 2 points if you are a moose. So you're going to add up all of the cards that are out and try to see whether it is advantageous to be a moose or a bunny, and you're going to continuously change your antlers and ears until the BAM comes out, and then you have to freeze. And then after the hunter says freeze, then the narrator will count up the points for each player based on what their ears and antlers to see how many points they get. And they'll say bunny ahead 2, or bunny back 1, or moose ahead 1, or moose back 3, depending on what cards have been played. If after the hunter says bam, and you've got a bunny ear on one side and an antler on one side, you're not either a bunny or a moose, you're a bush. And so therefore, you would then lose 1 for each. Now, during the scoring, say there's various progress. Okay, say we're at this point. After everybody has scored, the farthest back moose, blue, gets to go forward 1 just to catch up. The farthest back rabbit gets to go 1. So that kind of helps keep things moving forward. If the 3 moose were all the furthest back, then all 3 moose would move forward. If there were multiple bunny rabbits that were all in last place, then they would all get to move forward 1 space. To determine who the winner is, you look at the second figure for each color. Which one is furthest back? So for blue, blue's second figure is back here, and green's second figure is here, yellow's second figure is here, and so is red's. Orange's second figure is here, that's pretty good. Brown's second figure is even further up, so Brown would be the winner because the second meeple is the furthest up on the trail. Now there can be potentials for ties. Say orange had been here, now brown and orange second figures are tied. So then you look at the other figure to break the tie. And Brown's other figure, the moose, is further ahead, so therefore Brown would win the game. Now we're going to show you some of the advanced rules. So the advanced rules are the ones that have this little dash in the corner. Now ears can be ambiguous normally. So this is a side of the head ear that is ambiguous, whether it is straight or floppy, but it can also be ambiguous as to whether it is on the top of the head or the side of the head. So this one is ambiguous, could be top, could be side. Now a normal ambiguous moose can have ears that are down and that are either wide or compact. But in the advance, this is a moose that has a compact ear that is either up or down. There are also multiplier cards. So if a ×2 for bunnies are out on the table, you add up all of the points you would get for being a bunny by putting ears up and multiply them by 2. If there's another bunny out there that is ×2, you'd then multiply by 2 again, so that's ×4. If you have a ×2 moose and you have 2 antlers, then you get 2 times your score. You could get 4 times your score if there's 2 of those out there. If your score is negative, then you could have a negative score, and that would be bad because it would get even higher, even faster. Back when you were in kindergarten, the teacher said, "Don't stick your tongue out at me." But in this game, that might be a good idea, because if you put your tongue out and this card is on the table, then you get 3 extra points. But there's more. If you have your tongue out and you have bunny ears out, you go from pretending to be a bunny with bunny ears to pretending to be a moose with bunny ears. So if you stuck your tongue out to switch from a bunny to a moose, then you would then move your moose instead of moving your bunny. So you can game out which animal that you want to move. If you're playing with younger players, you can cover up lines on the poem so that there's less cards out there that they have to keep track of. If you're playing with more advanced players, you can go to the longer poem. So this poem has 8 lines, so there would be 8 cards that people would have to track simultaneously and count up to see whether they wanted to be a moose or a bunny and which type of ears or antlers to put out. So that would be even more complicated. Trust me when I say this game is hysterical. You have to keep track of everything and it moves along and people end up laughing and having a great time. And now it's going to be part of the FlamingoCon library. So come check it out at FlamingoCon number 30 in Delray Beach, Florida on October 4th, 2025. Come on out, play some games in person. Okay, be well.